Love that song. That's The Beautiful South. Everybody's talking. So, Leicestershire Police is one of 8 forces in England giving money to a Christian charity to pay for social community projects. £34,500. It's just a tiny slice, really, of the police's annual budget, but it's given to something called the Cinnamon Network. Now, that's then made available to church-based groups in Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland in slices up to about £2,000 each to help those people who might otherwise risk getting into trouble and eventually the criminal justice system. It's small, preventative work, but it actually has a really big impact on lives. One of those groups is Leicester Western Ward Linking Lives, and Sarah Taverner from there joins me this morning. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about what you do.
The idea of the Leicester Western Ward Linking Lives scheme is we go out and befriend lonely people in the community. So we train volunteers to just be a friend, nothing more. So it's just to go and have a cup of tea with somebody for an hour once a week, just to be their friend and reduce their level of loneliness.
Some people would ask, why would the police give you money for this project?
11% of elderly people see family less than once a month, and it's those people that the police believe often make unnecessary phone calls to the police. So they hear a noise, and rather than ringing their friend, they'll ring the police. The police go out, and it takes a lot of time then to deal with the lonely person, reassure them, and put their mind at rest before they can move on and do other things. So it's using a chunk of the police budget to do that. They believe that if loneliness and isolation is tackled, then the unnecessary calls will reduce and that'll impact on the police budget.
So that's where you come in, you give them, another person to call, another area where they can go and talk about their worries.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is the money that you get help?
When we were first starting out, we contacted the Linking Lives UK, and they told us about the Cinnamon Network and to contact them, and it helped us by helping us provide the initial equipment we needed to start. So we needed a laptop, we needed all the office equipment so that we could base ourselves somewhere, and that's what it all funded.
And since you've been going, what sort of changes have you seen? What sort of progress have you seen in the people you've been helping?
Well, so far we're just about to launch.
Oh, you haven't launched yet?
So we're just receiving the referrals, but we've been contacting local agencies and getting the advertisements out there. But in Wokingham they've been running for 20 years. So we're following a pre-used method, and they've seen massive changes in their area.
Where are you getting the referrals from? Are they coming from the police or?
Age UK, local GPs, the social services. We've tried to input into all the local agencies that deal with elderly people. We've even done a training session with student medics so that they know that loneliness and isolation impacts on elderly people. And if they're dealing with patients on the ward that they're about to send home that will be lonely and isolated, they can then refer on to us as well.
It's a huge problem, isn't it? It makes people feel so vulnerable.
Yeah, it's a massive problem. In the New Parks area alone, it's in the top 0.4% of the loneliest isolated areas.
Really? And what effect does that have on people when they get so lonely?
It affects their emotional well-being and their mental health. It affects their confidence levels. Once people become isolated and lonely and stay in their home, they then don't venture out again without input from somewhere. And we're hoping our input can encourage them to go out for a cup of coffee with their friend.
Yeah.
Because just a little trip to the local shop for a coffee or a garden centre for a coffee will make a massive difference to the person that's perhaps not been out for over a year.
Over a year? I mean, that's shocking, isn't it?
It really is. It's heartbreaking to think that these people are on our doorsteps and they just don't see anybody else.
But that's it, isn't it, Sarah? They're on our doorsteps, and you probably listening, you probably know someone down the street, or you've seen them, and you think, I wonder if they're okay. I wonder if they're on their own, and people can just go and help themselves, can't they? Just to knock on the door, see if someone's okay.
Absolutely. The community's changed over the years. I grew up in the Western Ward of Leicester, and we were in and out of our neighbours' houses every day. Our neighbours were elderly, but they always had input from each other. And nowadays people are scared to knock on their neighbours' doors, and they don't feel that it's okay to do that. And we know as Christian people that it is okay to share with people, share God's love and share just being with somebody. But not everybody realises it is okay, and there's a lot of fear in the community.
Are you going to need to rely on this money from the police, or is this something that you can keep funding yourself?
It was a start out from the police, so it did help us get off the ground, but we have had a generous benefactor stand out and say, I want to help with this project. So we have got the funding there to keep going with this project.
Oh, it sounds like it's going to be doing some amazing work, Sarah.
We launch on the 11th of October, so after that we're really going to know what good we're doing.
The 11th of October. If people are listening and they want to help out as well, are you welcoming people to come and help join in with the project?
Absolutely. We're reaching out into our community for the volunteers. We're not just staying within our own church. Anybody can approach us and say we want to volunteer. We accept donations, or if people know of somebody they want to refer, we take self-referrals, friends referring friends, or even the professional agencies and the GPs.
Okay. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been lovely to hear about this project, and I wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
Joe Bostock, BBC Radio Leicester.